This is 1.4, and we're talking about how to measure how big an angle is. And we did this in the vocabulary, so I'm not going to cover a ton of how to actually go through and do this because we covered that in the vocabulary. So if you remember, as you look over here at this example of the protractor, and I know this is really kind of hard to see. It's not the greatest numbers-wise in here, but let's say over here at point D, let's see, point D we'll say is 32 degrees over here on the bottom row. So if I follow the bottom row, I'll say that point C is at 135 degrees. Okay. And how do I find out what the angle measure is? Well, if you remember, I'm going to subtract them, 135 minus 32, and then I take the absolute value. Okay. So I find the two rays, the end of the two rays, figure out what number they're on in terms of the protractor, and then I subtract those two numbers. So in this case, this would be 103, and the absolute value of 103 is 103. So angle O in this case right here would be 103 degrees. Okay? So it says, what are the measures of angle LKN, angle JKL, and angle JKN? And then it wants you to classify each as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Okay? So let's look at LKN. Okay, so LKN, if you remember, the middle number is, or the middle letter is the vertex. So I'm going to follow this through, kind of give you an idea where this is going to go. LKN, I start at L, and then I'm going to come to K, and then I'm going to go to N, and I screwed up here on this one. Let's go back here, LKN. I want to know how much is that angle. Okay, so when I calculate this, I want to figure, okay, where's N at? Well, I know N is at 0, okay, or I could use 180, either one. But let's, it's a lot easier to use 0. I'm going to take 0, and we're going to subtract. If we look up here at L, okay, so I want to know how much this angle is right here. L, again, you can't know exactly for sure, but if I start at 0, I'm on the inside, so I'm following the inside numbers, and I would say that's 145. Well, 0 minus 145 is negative 145, and I can't have a negative angle measure. That's why we have the absolute value there. So angle LKN is 145 degrees. Okay. All right, so now angle JKL. Angle JKL, as I'm going to erase like so. Okay, so JKL. Again, I'm following, in this case, the letters that I can here. So JKL, let's see here. Let's go J to K and to L. That's a little bit better. You can see those numbers through there with a highlighter instead of the pen. All right, so now I go back to my pen, and I want to know, that's JKL. I want to know how much it is for this angle right here. Okay, so J is at 90. All right, so I'm going to take 90, and I'm going to subtract L. Now, does it matter which one I use? Because in this case, both of these are 90 on the inside and the outside. So does it really matter? Well, technically it doesn't. But I know this is 145 or it's 35. And it doesn't matter which one you use here. Let's go with 35, the smaller one. So 90 minus 35, okay, as I look at that. If I take 90 and I subtract 35, that's going to give me the absolute value of 55. Well, the absolute value of 55 is just 55. So angle JKL is 55 degrees. Okay. Well, now we're going to go, and I want to know JKN. JKN. So as I'm erasing here the old one, now let's look at JKN. And J to K to N. So I'm going to follow here. J to K to N. Well, I'll bet some of you can figure out this, that you don't even need to actually measure this one, because this one should be fairly easy. So when I do this, I want to know how much this angle is right here. Okay, so I'm going to take the absolute value. Let's start at 90, since that's where I started at. Again, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to take minus. They're both 90, and I can take it minus 180 or 0. Either way, 90 minus 0, that happens to be 90. The absolute value of 90 is 90 degrees. Okay, so now you can calculate the measure of an angle as you're looking at a protractor, and you should be able to complete page 3 of the class Kick Now examples.